Well, thank you. It's an absolute privilege to be here this morning and join everyone here today. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what we get up to here at McLaren, and it says down here I should explain a little bit about my job at McLaren. But in truth, it doesn't really feel like a job. It's a bit of a dream to come and work at a team like McLaren and get to travel the world racing cars everywhere we go. And even more so than just racing the cars, I get to work with so many of our great technical partners, exposure to the latest tech, best innovation, and I'll share a little bit about what we've been up to with VMware. But before I do, what do we do? So as we go racing this weekend, in fact, just this afternoon out in Amsterdam, the IT rig rolls off the track, and it rolls off the trucks with the two cars. It's the only thing we have, the only one we have along with the two cars. And it gets plumbed into the garage, and 22 times a year we build a data center right out at the edge. And it's pretty impressive. But what do we do with that? Well, as these two cars make their way around the track, and Lando and Daniel go at 200 miles an hour, we're collecting 300 sensors of producing 1.5 terabytes worth of information that we have to analyze to try and find the edge. And when I talk about edge, it's milliseconds. Milliseconds can make the difference between pole and second, but they also make the difference between finishing first and last. And so everything we do is about marginal gains and trying to find ways to go faster. And that means our people have to work all around the world. And this is an example of where our team would work out of. When we talked about the pandemic and people having to work from home and doing that, it felt a little bit cheating for us. We've done that for over 30 years. We've been working out at the edge, in garages, in trucks, from hotel rooms, the airplane lounge, you name it. And so for us, when the pandemic hit, it was just scaling that across the organization and taking the good lessons we'd learned from having a team of 80 engineers traveling the world and scaling that into everyone's bedrooms, front rooms, and wherever they were working from. But we also found a challenge with that. Delivering IT services to the people at the edge used to be a case of deliver them a laptop and stand back and don't touch it. But we needed to do something different. And so I was really delighted when we got the opportunity to work with VMware and put Workspace ONE across the entire organization. This is the type of environment we see people working in. Here's Hiroshi, he's our tire expert, and he'll be analyzing all of the data coming from the car to predict what tire we should move to next. And that's critical in this current modern era of Formula One racing. What you don't see is behind the scenes this weekend, that was out in Monaco earlier this year, is we had to deploy 200 Android devices out to the team. We just signed a partnership with Google, which was really exciting, and we had 200 devices arrive at the office, ready to be deployed at trackside. And the team at Google said to me, this is great, and we want to launch the partnership, but have you thought about how you're going to manage these devices? And I said, well, without trying to let the cat out of the bag, we've got this awesome partnership coming with VMware. I said, we might be thinking about doing Workspace ONE. And all of them on the call just said, oh, well, thank goodness for that. You're doing the right thing. And so we had to go and take these 200 devices out to track. If you ever see me at an airport, do not follow me through security. Trying to offload 200 tablets through all the trays going through airports. It's not the most fun. But we delivered it. We put these 200 tablets into the garage. We put Android phones into people's pockets, all running Workspace ONE, allowing us to deliver secure access right to the edge so that engineers could look at trackside data on their phones in a secure way for the first time ever, giving our strategists, our team directors, our team principals a better safety and better, more feeling safer that team telemetry isn't going to go anywhere. It doesn't just stop in the garage, it moves out to the grid, and we deploy IT in these strange places. My first ever week at McLaren, I found someone vacuuming out the rear of a server. And I said, why are you doing that? And they said, oh, it's collecting all the carbon dust in the garage. So we deploy IT into weird places, to trolleys next to cars in order to fire up the engines. And we do other weird things as well. And then finally, it doesn't just stop there. We also have this guest hospitality experience. And back up in the guest hospitality area, it was amazing. You could go and have a look down on top of the cars, but you couldn't get the data onto your phone or device. And so we wanted a way to securely deploy a suite of applications that our guests, whenever they joined us at a race, could see on their tablets and phones and use to interact with us a little bit more. It's no good saying we're one of the most technically advanced sports on the planet when all you can do in our hospitality area is just look down on the garage. And we're able to do that with VMware. We're able to deploy a suite of applications. You can look at the same weather charts the strategists look at. You can watch the race. You can look inside the garage and even see some of the telemetry coming from the cars. And if those devices leave the circuit, we know we can shut them down and keep them secure. And that was super important to us. And finally, and the reason I think I've got a pretty cool job, is there's not many of us that get to do this. There's about 20 people that work in IT at McLaren, and so I'm sure we'll be taking some job applications soon. But it's a really lean team, and we have to depend on our partners to go racing. It's not just a game of stickers on cars. And Zach reminds me of that every day I speak to him. But it's a game about making sure our partners help us go faster on track. And I'm delighted to have VMware joining us on that journey. So thank you.